This is Today in St. Louis, focused on you.
We begin on this Wednesday morning with a nice little drive through the Christmas Wonderland, the holiday light display at Rock Spring Park. Isn't that lovely? It's in Alton, Illinois. Put up by a group of volunteers known as the Grandpa Gang. And Michelle says, watch out for those guys. But they're pretty nice. They're pretty nice. They've been doing this for about a few decades now. To get in, it costs $10 per car. That's only if you have 10 people. More than 10 people, it's $1 per person. I read that and I was like, wow. Got to get a real big car for this. Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, December the 6th. I'm Randy Knock.
And I'm Michelle Lee. So great to see you. How about this behind us?
We're driving through.
Awesome. We are driving through.
We're doing the speed limit, too. You know?
Yeah. You know what? We want to thank you for joining us, including those of you who might be watching us on 5+. Paul Cook has been keeping an eye on the road, talking about some changes coming.
Yeah, I have a question, too. If they've been doing it for decades, if they've been doing it for decades, the Grandpa Gang, aren't they the Great Grandpa Gang?
Well, it's probably just new grandpas, right?
Yeah.
They cycle in grandpas.
Oh.
I don't know. I just,
All right. You were all thinking it, I thought.
They've been a grandpa for decades.
Paul's got questions this morning.
Michelle Lee, I got a question.
I got a question.
Yes.
It is different this morning, guys. Colder.
Colder,
So-
but dry.
Yes.
The drive-in wasn't bad.
Yeah, so just need the coat this morning as you head out the door. Paul will be talking about striping. Yeah, if you watched in the 5 o'clock hour, he said stripping. We all went, huh?
Didn't happen.
Yeah, well, we have 5+. We can go back and check. 36 degrees at Lambert this morning. Rolla, wow, you've dropped down to 24. It's because clouds are clearing away this morning, so it will take a little bit of time for the clouds to clear in St. Louis, but you certainly do need the coat. Afternoon sunshine and winds have relaxed tremendously. We're back into the 40s this afternoon for highs. Now, coming up, we're going to talk about a warming trend and, well, rain for the upcoming weekend. We'll help you dodge those drops as you try to see some of those holiday light displays. In the meantime, let's go over to Paul Cook.
Yes, you got it right.
To talk about striping.
Okay, and you are exactly right about that, Tony.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry.
words.
He does not like that. Okay, words 55 going northbound at Revis. It's just been a real headache. As you know, if you drive that area, and unfortunately, there were some errors made while they were stripping the concrete off the road. That's really true. And, it's going to be not till 2026 finished there. We're looking here at the construction cone. Oh, no. And you're moving very, very green out there. So that is good. And then we go out a little bit further here to Zumble at 70, where it's going to be close tonight, starting at 8 o'clock, going on all night. Striping the roadways is what's going on. It was going to be last night. Now it's tonight, and you can see it out there now. We'll have more on this coming up.
All right, thanks so much, Paul. We do want to talk about this manhunt that is underway this morning for the second person wanted in connection with a Clayton homicide. Police say Darian Johnson should be considered armed and dangerous. Our Sydney Stallworth is joining us live in Clayton this morning with more on this investigation and the charges that he faces this morning. Sydney.
Michelle, that's exactly right. This morning, police are looking for 18-year-old Darian Johnson. They say he was involved in November's deadly shooting in Clayton, the city's first homicide in about 2 decades. And this morning, Johnson is facing 2 felony charges. We have a photo of him for you this morning right there on your screen. This is Darian Johnson, who's facing 1 count of second-degree murder and 1 count of armed criminal action, both Class A felonies. Police say surveillance video shows Darian Johnson and 18-year-old Turnell Johnson and others breaking into cars in Clayton back on November 13th and driving a white Chrysler 300 when 41-year-old Joshua Harris confronted them after seeing them try to break into his wife's car. He was shot and killed. Darian Johnson was seen driving that same Chrysler spotted at the scene to work the day before and the morning of the shooting. The November 13th shooting was the first homicide in Clayton in nearly 20 years. One criminal justice professor weighs in.
When you live in a community where you feel like you are far removed from where centers of crime are, there tends to be an additional layer of shock or surprise. We are a region, we're not just a pocket. So those occurrences are expanding. A lot of it is financially driven.
Now, a cash-only bond has been set for Johnson at $500,000, and police ask that if you have any information, you call them at 314-290-8425. Now, in our next half hour, I'll have more information on why more young people are committing crimes just like this one. But for now, reporting live in Clayton, I'm Sydney Stallworth, 5 on your side.
Thank you, Sydney. You've probably heard the saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Well, an Illinois man is set to put that theory to the test in front of a judge.
And you also might recognize him from the show American Pickers. Holden Kerwicki is joining us in studio with more on this case against a man a lot of people know as Hobo Jack. Holden.
That's exactly right, Michelle. And as you can imagine by his multiple appearances on American Pickers, Hobo Jack has an expansive collection of, well, odds and ends, and some of it is stored outside of his home. That was all fine when he lived on his Montgomery County farm, but it all changed when he moved into the city of Litchfield, where he was cited for failing to maintain his property, an accumulation of trash, and harboring rodents. The matter is set for trial today, but it's not clear if it will be in front of a jury or a bench trial heard by a judge, which Saphir tells me he will refuse to participate in. He adds he has cleaned up his yard outside of a few unrestored antiques, but the city of Litchfield is maintaining its position.
It's accumulating way too much. You know, it's a nuisance. He really did nothing to comply. If anything, he brought more stuff in.
I have no idea how anyone could get an idea that there was an accumulation of garbage here. I certainly never saw it.
Attorneys for the city of Litchfield have filed a motion opposing a jury trial. They cite legal concerns that Saphir missed a deadline to make the request and concerns that he can't afford the required legal fees. Those fees, by the way, are just under $300. Either way, the Montgomery County judge has stated the matter would be heard this afternoon at 1:30. Rennie?
Thank you, Holden. This morning, a heads up for Ferguson Florissant parents. Students at Ferguson Middle School will not be going to school today. Instead, they will be learning from home. The school district is having a remote learning day due to an underground boiler pipe repair. The plan is to have the work completed today and students back in the classroom by tomorrow.
Well, and this morning, parts of Crawford County are waking up in the dark. The sheriff's office says there's an extensive power outage in the Steelville area and in the southern part of the county. Right now, there's no word on what caused the outage or when power will be restored. Also over in Belleville, parts of the city are still under a boil order. Repairs continue this morning on a stretch of East Main Street damaged by Monday's water main break. Those affected should still bring their water to a rolling boil for 5 minutes before drinking or cooking.
All right, let's get to our weather first forecast and take you to the future, because today is cold, but we have a really nice warming trend on the way as we head towards Thursday and Friday. High pressure, that's going to start to move off towards the southeast, and whenever that happens, we get that warmer wind. So tomorrow and Friday, we're in the 60s. That area of low pressure that's been moving in across the Pacific Northwest, that is going to slide in for us Friday night into Saturday. It looks like through the day on Saturday, we'll have a steady rain, but the thing about this one, unfortunately, the snow, the cold is going to remain so far north into Iowa. We just won't have it here through the day on Saturday, even Saturday night into Sunday. Just not expecting it this go round. The temperatures, though, those are going to come up Thursday and Friday. We're in the 60s, and then it turns colder this weekend. We'll talk more about the rain this weekend and what's to come coming up.
All right, well, how about dinner to come? How about that?
Already?
Yeah, need dinner plans? Check out Sugar Fire Smokehouse this afternoon.
The barbecue joint is hosting a pay-as-you-wish event in North County. You can enjoy a holiday buffet if you bring in some canned goods, toiletry items, or cash donations. The event is being held at Narrow Gauge Brewing Company on North Lindbergh in Florissant. It starts at 3 o'clock this afternoon and runs until supplies run out.
Coming up, proposed budget cuts in St. Louis County. What's at risk of being eliminated this morning?
Just like the ones I used to know.
Your own Kevin McAllister adventure awaits. The new package that lets you get lost in New York.
Let us head back out to Alton. This is at Rock Spring Park. This is the Christmas Wonderland Holiday Light Display. Our very own photographer extraordinaire, Larry Johnson, taking us on a drive-through. Over 4 million lights are set up there. All set up, by the way, by the Grandpa Gang. They've been doing this for decades. Admission, $10 per car.